Aloha everyone, my name is Charles and welcome to the Hawaii Volcano Watch Report for September 2020. This report will cover the current Mauna Loa Volcano, the Kilauea Volcano, and the Halema'uma'u Crater Lake informational update. Based on the information USGS posted on September 10th, 2020, for the past week, the seismometers recorded around 70 small earthquakes. These quakes were all below a magnitude of 2.5 and located beneath the summit and upper flanks of Mauna Loa. The bulk of these quakes were detected at depths of less than 5 miles or 8 kilometers below ground level. If we look at the GPS measurements, it appears they continue to indicate slow and long-term summit inflation. This trend in the GPS data is consistent with magma supply to the volcano's shallow storage system. Data for the gas concentrations and fumarole temperatures also remain stable and relatively unchanged. Finally, webcam photos indicate no changes to the volcano's landscape for the last week of observations. Well, that'll pretty much cover it for the Mauna Loa Volcano, so I will leave it to quietly rumble in the background for now and move over to the Kilauea Volcano and Lower East Rift Zone. During August 2020, there were approximately 950 earthquakes on Kilauea. That is around 10% less than what was recorded during the month of July. The strongest quake detected was a magnitude of 4.2 and was located under the Pahoa area of the Kilauea Southwest Rift Zone. Tilt meters located on Kilauea's summit recorded 12 deflation-inflation events in August. That is a slight decrease compared to the total recorded in July. Deformation at Kilauea Summit and Middle East Rift Zone continues to show a long-term trend of inflation. This type of trend tends to indicate the shallow storage system has a consistent supply of magma. The GPS station data continues to show elevated rates of motion of the south flank of Kilauea towards the ocean. Wrapping up the information on Kilauea, sulfur dioxide emission rates continue to register low levels at the summit and remain below detection levels in the lower east rift zone and Pu'u'o'o crater. Before moving on to the Halema'uma'u Crater Lake part of the report, I want to share some photos provided by the USGS of Fissure 7 and Fissure 21 located in the Leilani Estates portion of the lower east rift zone. The first photo in this set is of Fissure 7, taken on September 3rd, 2020. Geologists investigated and documented the vent features during the site visit and collected samples for the ongoing analysis of the 2018 eruption. As seen in this photo, the fountains from Fissure 7 left a hole over the fissure vent area. Now, if you look closely in the background, Fissure 8 can be seen. This next photo of Fissure 7 is from the vantage point of Ho'okupu Street in Leilani Estates and is looking towards the west. And the view is of the backside of Fissure 7 rampart. Moving to the next photo in the set, we see Fissure 7 from the front side, and we clearly see the familiar red oxidation we have become so accustomed to seeing in these fissures. By the way, if you're enjoying this report, be sure to show that thumbs up button some aloha and give it a click now. In the next photo set, the USGS visits Fissure 21. Looking at the northeast rampart, we can see a small hole has formed due to a collapse of the rampart itself. There are several large collapse blocks and collapse piles surrounding this part of the fissure. Ramparts like these are prone to collapse if the lava spatter does not weld together very well during the fountain eruption activity. This next photo is from the southeast side of Fissure 21, and this one is from the front. Once again, you can see the red oxidation, which is common in the lower rift zone eruption areas. That will do it for the Kilauea Volcano general update part of the report. We will go now back up to the summit of Kilauea and take a closer look at the crater lake in the third segment of the Hawaii Volcano Watch Report. Just a quick reminder, for notifications of new updates, you will need to click that subscribe button and bell icon. Then select the All Notifications option. Now for the crater lake. On September 1st, 2020, the depth of the lake was approximately 140 feet or 43 meters. That is about the height of a 12-story building. Wow, this thing is getting big. Simultaneously, the lake's surface is dynamic and ever-changing in both pattern and color variation. In this time-lapse video, we see 45 minutes of activity at the water surface. The color zones are incredibly dynamic, shifting around quickly over just a couple of minutes. This dynamic nature has been a common observation in the lake during much of the past year. Just as a note, the camera exposure does change several times, which will shift the colors occasionally. This close-up photo of the crater lake is absolutely fascinating, as it shows two highly distinct color separations in the water. In this next photo, we can see the water at the western end of the lake. Based on thermal imaging, the water's greenish zones tend to be a little hotter than the others. They also appear to be the areas of groundwater influx into the water body. USGS points out that submerged rocks are visible along the shoreline, and they seem to have a brown or orange color. Moving on, in this photo, we can see in the lower right a darker brown with a greenish patch of transparent water. Finally, there have been no significant changes observed in the Kilauea Summit Lake. It continues to deepen and remain dynamic in its color variations. Now I want to show this photo from last month's update again. Taken on August 7th, 2020, this photo shows a magnificent rainbow perfectly framing the caldera lake. Just spectacular, if I do say so myself. That will do it for this edition of the Hawaii Volcano Watch Report. Please help support the channel and check out some of the great merch I have available on my Teespring and Redbubble stores. Your support helps keep these reports coming. Links to that and more is in the description below. Mahalo for watching, and I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening.